it's Marvin from Academic again. Are you ready to test your preposition skills? Let's talk about it. Do you feel like prepositions are tricky? Should it be I'm in the store or I'm at the store? I talk to him or I talk with him? These small words in, at, with, to, these are called prepositions. The reason why prepositions are so tricky is because we can't translate them from your native language. For example, in Spanish, the words para and por both mean for when you translate it into English. But those two words can be used in a lot of different situations, where in English we would say for, by, during, along. How are Spanish speakers and you supposed to know which is the correct English preposition? It's tricky. Today we're not going to cover all the rules for all prepositions, but instead we're going to do something a little fun, a quiz. Over the next 15 questions, you're going to review 15 different prepositions. Of course, we can't talk about every rule for every preposition, but we're going to talk about some of the common uses. Before we get started, I want you to guess how many questions do you think you'll guess correctly. I want you to think about this number because I have a feeling that I guess that you probably know more about prepositions than you think you do. So I hope that this lesson will help you to realize I do know something about prepositions, and now I know a little bit more as well. All right, let's get started with the question number 1.
Today is beautiful. Let's go for a walk. The park. Let's go for a walk in the park. Let's go for a walk at the park. Which one of these is the most common? I'll give you 3 seconds to guess. 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is, it's beautiful today. Let's go for a walk in the park. You should use the word in because we're talking about being inside or surrounded by the park. If you say, let's go for a walk at the park, we're just talking about a specific point. You might say, let's meet at the entrance to the park. But here we're talking about going for a walk in the park. We're surrounded by the park. Question number 2. Basketball is enjoyable, but I love baseball. But about all, I love baseball, or but above all, I love baseball. Which preposition is correct? 3 seconds, 2, 1. Basketball is enjoyable, but above all, I love baseball. Here we have a fixed expression. You might call this in grammatical terms a collocation. Above all. Here we can imagine physically above. Your interests are more important, more interested. Baseball, above all, is the best. So you could say, I like learning English all the time, but above all, academic lessons are my favorite. Sentence number 3. I'm teaching my son to walk the sidewalk. I'm teaching my son to walk by the sidewalk, or I'm teaching my son to walk on the sidewalk. Which one is correct? All right, let's think about this in 3 seconds. 2, 1. The answer is, I'm teaching my son to walk on the sidewalk. With the word on, we can imagine a flat surface on the sidewalk. Don't walk on the road, walk on the sidewalk. Sentence number 4. Walk that tall building and you'll find downtown. This is directions. Walk to that tall building and you'll find downtown, or walk towards that tall building and you'll find downtown. Here we can kind of imagine that in the distance there's a tall building and you're trying to tell your friend how to get to downtown. So let's think about which preposition is correct. 3, 2, 1. Walk towards that tall building and you'll find downtown. We use the preposition towards to talk about moving in a direction towards something to something, but you're not exactly going to that spot. If you want to walk to downtown from my house, you don't need to get to that tall building. You just need to move in the direction of that tall building.
Sentence number 5. I'll see you. The party, 6 o'clock. I'll see you by the party by 6 o'clock. I'll see you at the party at 6 o'clock. And we're going to use the same preposition for both blanks. Think about it. 3, 2, 1. I'll see you at the party at 6 o'clock. Here we're talking about a specific point in time. Remember question number 1, we talked about meeting at the entrance to the park. That's the same thing here. We're gonna meet you at the party at 6 o'clock, a specific point.
Preposition sentence number 6. I don't understand what she is talking. I don't understand what she is talking with, or I don't understand what she is talking about. Which one is correct? 3, 2, 1. We have a key here to help us know what the correct answer is. The key word is the word what. I don't understand what she is talking about. If you know this fixed expression to talk about something, you know that we talk about something. We're not talking about a person. I'm talking about prepositions. I'm talking about the moon. I'm talking about English. What if we wanted to say, I'm talking with? Here we need to use a person. But in my sentence, I'm talking about something because I use the word what. I'm talking with you about prepositions. Do you see that difference here?
Sentence number 7. This one is a little tricky. We'll try to be home 10 p.m., but probably earlier. You can imagine telling a babysitter this. Maybe if you're going out and the babysitter is staying home and watching your kids, you might say, we'll try to be home by 10 p.m., but probably earlier. Or we'll try to be home at 10 p.m., but probably earlier. Which one is correct? 3, 2, 1. Well, technically both of these are correct, but the best answer here is I'll try to be home by 10 p.m., but probably earlier. Why did I choose by? The word by means that we're talking about the latest possible time. Try to be home by 10 p.m. and our key here is that final part, but probably earlier. I'm imagining that 10 p.m. is the latest that I will be home. So here we need to use the word by. You might also hear in a classroom the teacher might say to you, you need to have your homework finished by the beginning of this class. The beginning of the class is the latest possible time. Don't finish your homework during the class. It needs to be finished by the beginning of the class. Preposition sentence number 8. After watching the Tidying documentary, I went all of my things. After watching the Tidying documentary, I went into all my things, or I meant through all my things. Which preposition is correct? 3, 2, 1. After watching the Tidying documentary, I went through all of my things. You can imagine a tunnel. You're going through the tunnel. You're surrounded by the tunnel. I'm here in this sentence surrounded by my things. Clothes, kitchen things, office supplies. I went through my things. It was thorough. I went through every single thing. It also helps if you know the fixed expression to go through something. This is one of the best ways to really memorize prepositions is to memorize those full fixed phrases. To talk about something, to go through something. Sentence number 9. I was in New York 2 weeks. I was in New York since 2 weeks. I was in New York for 2 weeks. Which one is the most correct? 3, 2, 1. I was in New York for 2 weeks. I know that the word for and since can be tricky together, and we use for when we ask the question, what was the duration of time? The duration of time was 2 weeks, so I was in New York for 2 weeks. Sentence number 10. The cat ran the kitchen when he heard the can open. This is true for my cats. When you open a can of cat food, they run to the kitchen or they run into the kitchen. These are pretty similar, right? Think about it for just a moment. 3, 2, 1. The cat ran into the kitchen when he heard the can open. We use the preposition into to talk about a room or a building. If you want to say the cat ran to something, we need to use a specific thing. The cat ran to the ball. The cat ran to me. The cat ran into the kitchen to the ball. A beautiful sentence. Number 11. Oh no, that was the last can of cat food. I need to go the store to get more cat food. Is it I need to get to the store to get more cat food, or I need to go about the store to get more cat food? Which one is correct? 3, 2, 1. I need to go to the store to get more cat food. We use the preposition to for a specific destination. Come to my house. I'm going to the US. I need to go to the store. Number 12. The museum is full tourists in July. The museum is full of tourists in July. Or the museum is full for tourists in July. Which one feels the most correct to you? 3, 2, 1. The museum is full of tourists in July. It helps if you know this fixed expression, full of something. The tree is full of monkeys. The museum is full of tourists.
Number 13. I talked the client about the problem. I talked with the client about the problem, or I talked to the client about the problem. Think about this for a moment. 3, 2, 1. I talked with the client about the problem, or I talked to the client about the problem. Both of these can be correct grammatically, but they have slightly different meaning in a business situation. If you're talking about a friend, I talked with my friend, I talked to my friend, no problem, same meaning. But in a business situation with a client, they have a slightly different meaning. If you say, I talk with the client, it has a more friendly, approachable, kind of equal feeling. Both people are speaking. I spoke with the client. I talked with the client. If you say, I talked to the client, in a business situation, it kind of feels like one person is doing more speaking. You might say, my boss talked to me about being late. That means that I was late too much and he was angry with me. He talked to me about being late. So just know that in a business situation, it's slightly different, but in a casual conversation, they're the same.
Number 14. It's been raining Saturday. It's been raining until Saturday. It's been raining since Saturday. 3, 2, 1. When is the start date? When did it start raining? Saturday. It has been raining since Saturday. This is a tricky word. We know the start date, Saturday. It has been raining since Saturday. I've been learning English since I was 8 years old. 8 years old is the start time. I was learning since I was 8 years old. And our final preposition quiz sentence is I fell asleep the movie. I fell asleep during the movie, or I fell asleep from the movie. It's the last question. You can do it. 3, 2, 1. I fell asleep during the movie. The word during comes from the word duration. Duration, which means in the middle of the movie, I fell asleep. You've heard a lot of prepositions during this lesson. How did you do in the quiz? This was just a quick overview of 15 common prepositions, but I have a feeling that you got more correct than you thought you would at the beginning. And that's all for this lesson. Thank you so much for learning English with me, and I hope to see you in the next videos. Bye!